Hi, can you hear me? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, please let me know if you can hear me. I am not sure if it's live or not because I'm using this live stream thingy and I don't know if you guys can hear me or if you guys can see me. This is a little bit weird. Can you hear me? Okay, that's great. Somebody said yes, they can hear me. That's wonderful. Anyway, so I'm trying to do a little bit of use a little bit of technology today so that I can use this live stream thingy to create better live stream. I cannot see myself over here, so I'm just wondering if you can see me, you can hear me. That is wonderful. And can you just tell me very quickly if you can see my screen? Okay, I'm going to show you the live, the PowerPoint that I prepared, but I want you to let me know if you can see the what is it called? The PowerPoint, okay? I'm so sorry for my low-tech behavior. I'm just trying to figure it out. Okay, so let me know if you can see my screen. On the screen now, you will see IELTS Reading Single Choice Question, a free live class by IELTS with Huyen and Practice 9 IELTS. I'm not so sure how I can see the message at the same time. That's a little bit, I don't know, it's just very confusing for me. Can you see the screen just shared with you? The screen with the title of the live today. Let me just do one thing. Let me just try to see myself, if I can see myself over here. For some reason, you guys are joining the live, but for some reason, I am not on the live, so I don't know. Really, I really don't know. Well, I'm here. I'm using my phone now. I think I found a way for me to see myself. Just give me a second. I'm so sorry for this. Yes, I can see myself now. Wonderful. I can see messages as well. So thank you so much for joining me today. And I am so sorry for being very low tech now because this is my first time using a live stream, what do you call it, service to live on Instagram. And I hope that we will have a lot of fun together today. And in today's session, we will be talking about IELTS reading, and we will be talking about single choice questions. I'm aware that the screen is a little bit small for you. I don't know if you can see the screen very well. If you cannot read very well, I am really sorry for that. But we're going to go through this together. And I know that a lot of people are struggling with IELTS reading, especially when it comes to single choice question. So I want to give you everything that I know and everything that I have been using to help my clients achieve their target band score. And I think about 2 weeks ago, I did a live stream about IELTS reading in which I talked about heading matching. And I had a lot of questions after that. I had answered a lot of questions after that. And I'm very happy. In my opinion, the best way for you to learn is to ask questions. So if you have a specific questions, feel free to ask me. I am never hesitant to answer any specific questions. All right, so give me a thumbs up if you can see the screen, if you can hear me, if you can see me. This is my first time using a live stream service to live on Instagram, and I do apologize for very low tech skill that I got over here. So let me just try a little bit and do one thing. I'm just one person doing everything all at once, so I'm a little bit like I need to do a little bit of
recording
right
in progress.
Okay, so let's start our session today, and I hope you will learn something today, and I hope that after this session you will not need anything about single choice questions anymore. And I would like to apologize for my low-tech behavior. Do excuse me. I'm just one person doing everything all at once, so if I make a mistake or I make several mistakes, feel free to ignore my mistakes, okay? All right, so let us start our session today a little bit early. It is scheduled at 6 p.m. my time. It's now 5:57 p.m. And we're going to start early and we're going to finish early. I will try my best to keep it 45 minutes. I will not waste your time. But as per my experience in the past 2 sessions, I always took an hour and sometimes an hour and 15 minutes. So I do apologize if we go over time. All right? So guys, tell me where you are from and what kind of IELTS you are taking. And if you are struggling with single choice questions, or let me know if you have any questions about the IELTS exam before we start our session today. I understand that there's a little bit of a delay between my speech and the live stream, so I'm just gonna, sometimes I will not say anything waiting for your answer. So over here I can see just messages over here, which I'm very, very happy. Don't send me private questions, okay? Because I will not be able to see the private questions. So just send me a public question. Where are you from? What kind of IELTS you're taking? And if you're struggling with single choice questions or any kinds of questions you are struggling with, and feel free to ask me a specific question about the IELTS exam before we start our session. We have Rima, and I am very happy to have Rima in the session today. Thank you so much for joining me, Rima. I am honored to have you in the class. The class, it's not actually a class, it's a session. Okay, so Rima is now in the UAE. Okay, thank you so much. And I am currently living in Qatar. We are just 45 minutes away from each other by plane. Right, so anyone else? Where are you guys from? And what kind of IELTS are you taking? And I would like to also know your target score. Like, what kind of score are you targeting? I'm just reading the questions here. I'm just reading. Okay, we have someone from India. Okay, that's great. Thank you so much for joining in today. And anyone else from somewhere else before we start our session today? Wait a second, I think there's something here. Okay, that's great. Okay, while I'm waiting for you guys, I will be okay. So we have somebody from Nepal, somebody from Madagascar. Is great. Anybody is taking IELTS academic? Anyone taking IELTS Academic? Okay, so we have someone also taking IELTS Academic. So do excuse me. I also forgot to tell you that I'm also doing it on Zoom. This is the last time we're doing it on Zoom, okay? I haven't figured out how to kind of like broadcast everything all at once. I'm still trying to figure it out. Today is the very first time I've used a live stream service on live streaming, so I do apologize if there's any technical errors here. If you guys cannot see me, if you guys cannot hear me, please let me know. And also on Zoom, I have some people joining on Zoom as well. I would like you to tell me. I mean, I cannot see messages right now, but feel free to message me afterward if you have any feedback for the live stream, the very first time using this, and done by a very low tech person. So I do apologize for that. Okay, so I'm not going to keep you waiting any longer. In today's session, we will be talking about IELTS reading, and in particular, we will be talking about single choice questions. So I think that we are kind of very familiar with this kind of question. We have been doing this ever since, I don't know, maybe secondary or high school, right? Previously, I called it multiple choice questions, but I realized that in IELTS reading, there's the term multiple choice question may be a little bit misleading because there's another kind of choice question that allows you to choose more than one option as answers. So that's why I changed the name of the question into single choice question. But if you are not familiar with this, it's basically what we used to call multiple choice questions. All right, so in today's session, we will be talking about single choice questions. I will be sharing with you the method that I used for myself to get 9 and 8.5 IELTS reading. And also, I shared this technique with all of my clients and helped my clients achieve their IELTS reading band score. My target is that I always try to help you achieve the target right from the first attempt. But if it doesn't happen, I would like to do it for the second attempt. So this is everything that you need to know about the IELTS reading, single choice questions in IELTS reading. And I hope that after this session, you'll be able to answer these questions effortlessly and you will not have problems with these questions anymore. This is the method that I use. And I think that for a method to actually work, you really need to work hard on it and you really need to use it for a certain period of time. If you don't use it regularly, you will not be able to achieve the band score that you need with this method. So if you find this method useful, give me a thumbs up. If you want to share the slide and everything with other people, feel free to do so. Take a screenshot, share with your friends. But please, I am taking the materials entirely from my own written material, and I collected, the methodologies and the theories, and also even the exercises I created myself. So if you want to take a screenshot and share publicly, please give me the credit, because there have been some instances where people took my materials and shared online without asking me. So I would appreciate it very much if I get some credit at least, right? So let's start our session today, and I do want to remind you guys that I am also doing it on Zoom, and this is the last time we do it on Zoom. Okay, from the next week, I will be live. I will be having the live on TikTok, on Instagram, and on YouTube, so you can watch and interact with me on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Let's start our session today. Right? Are you ready? Okay. So before we start doing some exercises, I would like you to know what single choice questions are and what they look like. if you don't know what they look like, it is very difficult for you to actually follow what I'm going to say. So I would like you to look at the right hand side of the screen. You see the example of single choice questions. Single choice questions require you to read the questions and answer them by choosing one of the given choices. So for example, look at the very first question. You have four different choices, and you need to choose one choice to be your answer, and there's only one correct choice for each question. Okay, if you choose more than one, it is not correct, right? For example, if the first question you choose A and B and the answer is A, your answer is not accepted because the answer has to be A. It cannot be A and B. All right. To compare these kind of questions to the other kind, so you have one question and you can choose 2 or 3 different options as your answers. So this kind of question allows you only to choose one option. Okay. And are you guys like following? Have you had any struggle with this kind of question before? Like, have you found this kind of question difficult and making a lot of mistakes with this kind of questions? Let me know. What about single choice questions that you find most difficult? I will check. We are not reading yet. Okay, remember we are not reading anything yet. I'm just giving you guys some method. So no need to read anything. Just look at the format of the question. There's nothing to read yet. Okay. On Zoom, I will be going back on Zoom to see if I have any message on Zoom. Like, okay, I don't have any message on Zoom. Oh my God, sorry. All right, back. I can make the screen bigger for sure, but we are not reading anything yet. So don't worry. When you need to read to answer the questions, I will make it bigger. But don't worry. For now, just follow whatever I'm saying, okay? So people on Zoom do the same thing. I will make the screen, was that easier for you guys to read when you need to read, but no need to read anything now, okay? Okay, so let's go back to our session. So single choice question, in my opinion, I used to struggle a lot with single choice questions because for me, the most challenging part of this type of question is that all the choices sound alike. Okay, all the choices sound like they are similar, and all the choices sound like they appear in the text, right? So I used to struggle a lot with this kind of question. So for that reason, I mostly made mistakes with single choice questions. Not only in IELTS reading, but also in IELTS listening. Because all the choices appear in the recordings as well, and all the choices appear in the text. And I started IELTS with IELTS Academic because I wanted to go study. So it was a little bit more complicated, and I was not a very good, reader at the time, about 11 years ago. So I struggled a lot with IELTS reading with single choice questions until I found a way to tackle it, and I'm going to share with you guys today. So for single choice questions, you have to understand that there are 2 different parts in a question. The first part is the question itself. The question, it can be a question, for example, what is the main purpose of this paragraph? Okay, or what did Mr. A say about this? That is a question. Or it can be like half of a sentence, and then you have to complete the other half with by choosing one of the choices. So it can be you answering the questions, or it can be you completing a sentence by choosing the choices. Okay, and if you want to answer these questions effectively and in a nice way, in an easier way, I want to remind you that, and I also have a video about this, I want to remind you that whatever you are doing in IELTS reading, if you do not find evidence for your answer, it's probably wrong. The answer is probably wrong. So you need to know why you answer this way. So based on that understanding, in order to make sure that you are doing single choice questions well, you need to be able to answer the questions based on your understanding of the text, rather than just relying on the choices. Okay, I want to repeat after this. I'll repeat this. If you have a question and you use your understanding of the text to answer this question, you would be more likely to have this answer correct than to rely on the choices. And this is what I use to create my method to help you answer single choice questions, and we're going to discuss after this step by step. I'm going to help you, okay? So if you have the understanding of the text, and then you understand and you can answer the question using your understanding, then you can match your understanding with one of the choices, then you have the correct answer. It's very likely that it is correct because you have the evidence. The evidence here is your understanding of the text, right? And you have to also understand that the correct choices may be just parts of the full answers. So let me give you an example. You have the whole paragraph, and the whole paragraph is giving you so much information. And the correct choice that you are choosing for this question may just be a part of the information in the text, okay? The only thing that makes this choice correct answer is that other choices do not exist in the paragraph. Okay, so if other choices do not exist in the paragraph, this choice is definitely the correct answer. Again, we're going back to understanding the text and using what you understand to compare to the choices that you have, and then you choose the choice that is closest to your understanding. That is how you're going to answer the questions correctly. And most of the time I answer single choice questions correctly. And my target here is to not use so much time. And I want to ask you if you can answer all the questions. You have 40 questions, right? You have 40 questions, and you have to answer 40 questions in 60 minutes, which means that you have to spend less than 2 minutes for a question, including doing everything. So my target is to not spend so much time reading the text, but reading and answering the questions. So for that reason, we need strategies and we need methods to do things effectively, right? It's not, you're not going to read everything and then go back to read over and over again. If you have attended any of the live classes that I have done about IELTS reading, you know that my target is to never read the text a second time. I never read the text a second time. I read the first time and I can answer all the questions. And of course, there are different methods and strategies to do different kinds of questions. We've been talking about that so much, right? But that is my target. And if I have to read the question, if I have to read the text a second time, it is, in my opinion, I'm going to be wrong with the majority of the questions, right? So this is first of all, the methodology and also the philosophy that I use for single choice questions. Keep that in mind, and now we are going to do a little bit of exercise here. I'm going to give you the text, and I'm going to give you the question. And you're going to answer the question. I'm going to explain the answers to you. The questions are very easy, okay? But I would like you to follow my step so that you know what method you should use to apply to answer single choice questions. And again, this is my method. You may have different types of method. You may have different ways to answer these kind of questions. And you may find this method a little bit strange at first, but I would like to ask you to give it a try first before, saying that no, you're not going to do it. Okay, so I'm going to take you step by step. And if you can hear my dog barking, do apologize for that in advance, okay? All right, so I'm going to share with you the next slide. Here's the next slide. And I believe on Zoom it's very clear. If you guys can see this. And I'm just going to make this one a little, just going to wait for Instagram to load. It's a little bit small, I know, I do apologize. Somehow I do not know how to. Is it too small still on Instagram? I need to do a little bit of inspecting here. It's quite good. I think it's good. I think it's readable. Okay, can you guys read? I'm just going to ask Zoom. Can you guys read the text I just showed? Can you just tell me in the chat? If you can, yes. Okay, great, wonderful. Thank you so much. I am going to share again. Okay, very good. It's readable. Thank you so much for letting me know. Again, apologize for being very low tech. All right. So the very first question, and also we are going to do step by step, okay? Step number 1, I would like you to read the question first. Do not read the text. Don't read the text, okay? Please, do not read the text. Just look at it. Look. Do not read anything. It's not needed yet. I want you to read the question first. Just the question, not the choices. I'm not showing you any choices here. Just read the question and try to understand what this question is about. Okay? Just read the question. Do not read the text. I repeat, do not read the text. Just read the questions. This time, only one question, so just read the question. The question is, where did broccoli originated? Okay, this is a very, very simple question. And I'm not showing you any choices yet, right? So the very first step in my method is to read the question, not the text. To read the question, not the choices, not the text. I will not read any choices. Now, I only read the question. This is my very first step for you. Read the question. One by one only. We are not going to read like the entire 10 questions. We're going to read one by one. So question number 1 is, where did broccoli originate? Okay? Where did broccoli originate? Okay, the word is broccoli. Did I spell it wrong? No, I don't think so. Broccoli. The vegetable? I mean, is broccoli a vegetable or a flower? Which is a very, very good question. Need to Google it. Anyway, so don't read the text, okay? After this, try to remember this question. And you are going to read the text now. When you read the text, read very quickly. Read until you find the information that may be used to answer the question. Okay, may be used to answer the question. And then read the information the second time and try to answer the question by yourself. Okay, I repeat. Now we're going to read the text. Read the text very quickly until the point that you find the information that you may be able to use to answer the question. Read it the second time and answer the question by yourself. There are no choices yet. Okay, only the question, the text, and then you're going to read the text and answer the question by yourself. Okay, and can you put your answer in the comment section, please? On Zoom, please, on chat, okay? And on Instagram, please, can you put on the comment section your answer? Somebody told me that broccoli is a vegetable. I believe you. I believe you. Do you like broccoli? Is it? It's B. No, there are no choices yet. There are no choices yet, so you don't know which one is A, which one is B. I'm asking you guys to answer the question. Where did broccoli originate? Taking the information from the text. Answer the question by yourself. Okay? A, B, C, D, E, here are the names of the paragraph. It's not the choices. Okay, so I'm just going to go back to Zoom here. On Zoom, do you guys know how to where it originated? Can you put in the chat box? Okay. Okay, we have 2 answers here. Okay, great. 3 answers, same answer. Very nice. Okay, very nice. Oh, sorry. And for some reason, like this on Zoom, I can't see anything, so I need to switch back on and off. Okay, very good. We got answers here. Right. So the next step here is that you are going to read the choices. Okay. In this session, I'm not showing you any choices, but in the actual exam, you will see the choices right away. But the first step is to read the question, not the text, not the choices. The second step is to read the text to find the information that is relevant to the question, and then stop, read the second time, answer the question by yourself with your understanding of the text, and then you are going to read the choices. Okay, so now you have 3 choices here. 3 choices here. Tell me which one is correct, and can you put your answer in the chat box? Can you put the answer in the chat box? The comment section, the chat box, whichever it is. I'm waiting. We have 1 answer on Instagram. Wonderful. Anyone else? Let me check on Zoom if we have any. No message. People on Zoom seem to have, given up on my low tech. Well, that's okay. Okay, we have 2 answer A here. Anyone else has another answer? C. Okay. Okay, so I see you guys already understand it. So here is the answer. Okay, it is highlighted now. I'm just going to make it bigger here so you guys can see. Okay, I'm going to make it bigger here so you guys can see. It's A, right? So the reason you answer A is that it is the exact answer as your own understanding of the text. So the very first step is to read the question, not the text, not the choices. You read only the question. And then you go to the text. You read the text until the point that you can find information that may be useful, may be relevant to the question. You stop, you read the second time, confirm it, and then you answer the question by yourself using the understanding that you just have by reading the text. After that, you go to the choices. You read all the choices. You will find one choice with the meaning that is closest to the understanding or to your own answer. That is a correct answer. So you match the choice with your understanding of the text. Some Rima is saying that for me the word very difficult to understand. What do you mean by the words are very difficult to understand? Which words are difficult to understand? Which words are difficult for you to understand, Rima? Like, is it like because you do not have, you cannot see the screen? I'm not sure if I understand you very well. How to be confident with the answer? Okay, how to be confident with your answer? This is a very good question. You are confident with your answer when you find one choice. Match almost 100% or 100%. With exactly as your answer. So my option here is that when I answer I read only the question, right? And then I read the text. I use the information that I get from the text to answer the question by myself, not using the choices. I'm not reading any choices. I read I read the question only, and then I read the text. I use my understanding of the text to answer that question by myself. And after that, I go back to the choices and then I will match the choices to my understanding. Whichever choice that has at least 80 to 90% of the same meaning as my understanding, as my answer, that is the correct answer. So in this case, it's just one word. It's just the name of the region. This is very easy, right? Now, we're going to do the second one. And probably you will find it a little bit more complicated. But again, we are going to read the question first, and then we're going to read the text, and then we're going to read the choice. And then we're going to answer the question by ourselves, and then we're going to read the choices, and then we're going to match the choices, and then we're going to choose the answer. Okay, just step by step. I'm going to show you step by step. Don't worry about this. Okay. So over here you see that Rima is saying that the paragraph has a lot of words that Rima doesn't understand. It is very, very normal for people when they actually do IELTS reading, especially IELTS academic reading. Now, here's the thing. If you find yourself struggling with a lot of vocabulary in one single paragraph in IELTS reading, I am so sorry to tell you that you may be having a lot of problems with vocabulary back. So for that reason, you need to improve your vocabulary. So, in IELTS reading, grammar doesn't really play a big role here. Vocabulary actually does play a big role in IELTS reading. If you struggle with the majority of words in the paragraphs, you have big problems with vocabulary. For that reason, you need to improve vocabulary. There are different books that can help you improve vocabulary. For example, the IELTS vocabulary books by Cambridge. These are excellent books that I have used, and I really highly recommend the vocabulary for IELTS books by Cambridge. I do not have the books, and I don't really believe in downloading pirated books. So if you can find, I I would type it over here for you guys. Okay, so I'll just type it over here, so you will see that it's vocabulary for IELTS by Cambridge. Okay, these are very good books, guys. These are very good books, and there are different levels as well. I think you can buy online on Amazon. I don't have the book, so please don't ask me to share, but that those are the books that I used personally before I started when I was practicing first for the IELTS exam, and I still refer these books to my clients if it is needed. Okay, so vocabulary for IELTS by Cambridge. If you guys are struggling with vocabulary, now if you guys are struggling with grammar, there's another type of book, grammar for IELTS, also by Cambridge. Very nice. Now, if you just started learning English, or if you think that your general English level is quite low, is not enough to get the band score that you need yet, you first need to improve your general English level. Okay, do not try to, I don't know what to say, like do not try to jump into the IELTS preparation right away, because it will not help you a lot. IELTS is an exam, and we need strategies, we need methods to do well in an exam. And for that, you need to have a quite good foundation of English already in order for you to achieve the band score that you need. I have placements tests for free on my website, www.practice9.co. You will see free placement tests to kind of see where you are at the moment in terms of vocabulary and grammar, and also reading comprehension. It is not a full test, but it may help you see where you are at the moment, to see if you should spend more time improving your general English, or you can jump right into preparing for the IELTS exam. The link is in my bio. If you're on Instagram, the link is in my bio. You can find my website, or just go to my website, www.practice9.co. Okay, number 9.co. So P9 over here on the screen, you can see it's very cutie pie over here. Okay. Okay, we're going to have the second question here. This is the question number 2, and I would like you guys to read question number 2 first. Do not read the text, and there are no options. Okay, so you don't have to, but the very first step is to read the question. And this is not an actual full question. It is a part of a statement. So you need to read this part, and then you need to find the second part of this statement. Okay, I would like you to spend about 10 seconds, 5 to 10 seconds, to read this question. Okay, so after reading this question, I'd like you to take a guess. Okay, guess the answer. Broccoli was primarily introduced to American cooking by ... It can be a name of a person. It can be probably like nationalities, right? It can be company. It can be, I don't know, probably an event, a name of an event. So basically you're looking for a name here. name of a person, name of nationality, name of a country, name of a company, name of, I don't know, an event, right? So you can literally guess the answer, right? So we over here you can guess the answer. Okay. After reading this, now I would like you to read the text. I'm gonna make it bigger, okay? It's a little bit. Okay, nice. Okay, I'm gonna ask you to continue reading where you stopped and answer this question by yourself. Okay, broccoli was introduced to American cooking by ... And I want you to continue reading, and I want you to answer the question. Okay, answer the question and put your answer in the comment section or in the chat box. Okay, so we have Italian immigrants. Okay, we have one answer here. And anyone else has another answer? European immigrants. Okay. Remember, our question is, broccoli was introduced to American cooking by ... Okay, keep your own answer in mind. Okay, I am going to show you the choices. There are 3 choices over here. A, European settlers. B, Italian immigrants. And C, the Romans. Which one is your answer? Which one is your answer? A, B, or C? So learning from this time, I think from next week I will make the words bigger. Okay, so I don't have to move back and forth. It's easier for you guys to follow as well. From next week, yeah. Okay, B, we have Atika, right? Sorry if I pronounced your name incorrectly. I just read from your name here. B is your answer. Anybody answers differently? Anybody says like A or C? Any other answers before I give you my answer? Okay. It is really understandable that we have two different answers here because two different people answering two differently. So we have Atika here answered before even seeing the choices, Italian immigrants, and we have another Anzila. You answer European immigrants, right? So my answer is Italian immigrants because if you look back at the text over here, you will see that broccoli became or started gaining popularity in the early 20th century through European immigrants. But it was introduced to American cuisine by Italian immigrants. Okay, so the very first sentence where European immigrants, European settlers is mentioned, doesn't mention anything about cooking, doesn't mention anything about cuisine, let alone American cuisine, right? That is why the first sentence is just, I call it the distractor. It distracts you from the correct answer, which is the second sentence. Italian immigrants played a significant role in introducing broccoli to American cuisine. In the question, we do not see the word cuisine. In the question, we see the word cooking. American cooking and American cuisine here are similar, are synonyms of each other. That is why the answer here is Italian immigrants, not European immigrants. Does it make sense now? Does it make sense now? Do you have any question, Anzila? I know that Atika got the correct answer. What about Anzila? Does it make sense to you? Do you have any questions about this? Keep in mind one thing, that when we are talking about the IELTS reading, we do not rely on keywords because 90% of the times we will not see the same words between the questions and the text. We will only see the synonyms between the questions and the text. Okay, so if you are looking for the word cooking, you will not find. But if you look for the synonym of the word cooking and you try to look for the meaning, that is what you're going to look for, and you will find the answer. Okay, so Angela said that I need to explain once again. Okay, so there are two sentences here. The first sentence mentions European immigrants, and the second sentence mentions Italian immigrants, right? The question is about American cooking. Who introduced broccoli to American cooking? Okay, reading the very first sentence, we know that it mentions how broccoli became popular in the US. But the first sentence does not mention anything about cooking, about cuisine, right? It only mentions that broccoli became popular in the United States in the early 20th century. But the second sentence mentions Italian immigrants and American cuisine. And in this case, American cuisine and American cooking are synonyms of each other. That is why the very first sentence, which mentions European immigrants, is just a distractor to make you feel like, okay, you have found the information, but in fact you have not. You need to read the second one because the first sentence does not mention anything about American cooking. But the question asks you about American cooking. Okay, does it make sense now? Does it make sense? The question is about American cooking. Broccoli was introduced to American cooking by who? So, broccoli became popular in the United States because of European immigrants. But broccoli became were introduced to American cooking, American cuisine by Italian immigrants. So if you read the very first sentence, you may get distracted, and for that reason, you had a wrong answer. But I understand maybe you haven't had a lot of experience with IELTS reading. IELTS reading is so tricky sometimes. That's why we, tend to make some silly mistakes that normally staying at home doing practice we may not find it difficult, but when we are in the examination hall we may find it very complicated. Okay, so so I want to wrap up a little bit because, as I said, I really want to keep it 45 minutes for you guys only. I have actually one or two more questions, but I will share on Instagram, my Instagram story, okay? I want to wrap up a little bit here. So single choice questions require you to choose one choice for a question to be a correct answer. And my method includes understanding the text before reading the choices. So the very first step when you have single choice questions is to read the question. You're not going to read the text. You're not going to read the choices. You are going to read only the question. So one by one, read the first question, go to the text, read until you find information that may be relevant to the question. Try to use the information that you just got to answer the question by yourself. After that, step number 3 is to go to the choices and start reading the choices. Make sure that you read all the choices, and then you can start comparing the choices to your understanding or to your own answer to the question. And find and choose the choice that is closest to your understanding and to your answer, your own answer. That is potentially the correct answer. And we encounter one of the most popular, I would say popular, one of the most common mistakes in IELTS reading. We tend to read so fast and we tend to assume information that, we ignore information that is coming. For that reason, we do not get the correct answer. And over here, we just encountered it with question number 2. Okay, so my technique includes 3 different steps. Step number 1, read the question. Step number 2, read the text and answer the question by yourself. Step number 3, compare the choices. Read the choices, compare the choices to your answers, and choose the correct answer. So that is my method. That is how I got 9 and 8.5 in IELTS reading constantly. And that is how I helped my client. And recently I also had a client who got 9 in their reading. Okay, so it is possible to answer over 40 questions correctly. And it is possible if you have the correct strategies, if you have the correct method to answer the questions. And I want to remind you that IELTS is an exam, and it does not, so being fluent in English does not guarantee your score. You need to practice. You can get free practice tests, of course, on my website, practice9.co, www.practice9.co. I'll show you right now. If you have some time, I'll show you right now. Okay, this is the website, practice9.co. It's available here, and you can get free practice tests for free. Free practice tests for free. What did I say? Free practice tests. You get a lot of tips for free on my blog, and you have a collection for vocabulary. It's also free. You do not need anything. You don't even need an account to read this. And you have, as I mentioned over here, you have free placement tests. Okay, please. I only have grammar tests, vocabulary, reading comprehension, but feel free to ask me any questions if you have. You also have some ebooks that I put up here, and normally you can join my Zoom, but since as of today I'm trying to figure out how to use Streamlabs, which is a live stream service to live stream my thing. So I'm not going to conduct any Zoom lessons in the future, but I hope that we will have, every week we have a little bit of a chat, with a little bit of a session, so you can prepare very well for the IELTS exam. Before I stop, I would like to thank you so much for being so patient with me, because I am such a very low-tech person, and doing this is like it's taking the whole week for me to just try to figure out how to do this, and maybe there are some mistakes today and some errors. I do apologize, and I thank you so much for being so patient with me. And if you want to join any of my packages, feel free to contact me. I will provide you with a plan. If you have struggle financially, I can also provide you with a payment plan. All right. So before I go, do you guys have I hope that you learned something today, and I hope that you like our session. Give me a thumbs up in the comment section if you like today's live, and if you learned something in today's live. I want to see you next week. As I said, I'm quite like a introverted, like a shy person. So if you, there's something that it just shows up like this. Right? So thank you so much for joining me, and have a nice day, and I'll see you next week. Okay? Bye. Okay, so what can I do now?